Hi everyone, my name is Danny Phillips and I am the author and creator of the book Healthy Disney, Your Guide to a Fit and Magical Vacation at Disney World. And I'm looking for assistance with Kickstarter because I am ready to write volume 2 and I would like funding for my next research trip to Disney World. So I'm really excited about this. It's been in the works for a while, at least the idea for it, and I'm ready to get started, and I want to plan my next trip for May of 2019. So what I want to share with you first is that I have written a book. So this is the first one, and you can see this one's not for sale because this is the proof copy. It literally came in for volume 1 like 2 days ago, and it's really cool to see it come to fruition. I've done I'm working on the audiobook, I've done the ebook, and now we have the paperback book. So that's me. Yes, I did chop all my hair in November. So I don't have long hair anymore, but that is me. It's really cool. It's like a workbook. So this is volume 1, it's the planning guide. And there are tons of really cool things in here. But in the back, it's all about how to adjust your mindset, how to adjust the planning. It's your planning phase for your Disney trip so that you can go to Disney and not come home 10 pounds heavier. You want to enjoy the indulgences, but not so much that you feel guilty about your trip when you come home. But there's a ton of actual in-book activities that really help you write down what your goals are, what you're planning for, how you want to enjoy some things, like maybe a Mickey-shaped chocolate bar, and how you want to make sure that you have some higher nutrient dense and healthier options as well, like maybe some fruits and vegetables or some leaner protein options, things like that. And how to deal with family members who maybe aren't on the same plan as you and don't understand why you want to have some healthy goals at Disney. In other words, they're ready to just blow it because they're on vacation. So I'm planning to do the second volume. I have a plan actually for about 8 or 9 volumes because I started writing this book about a year ago, beginning of 2018, and recognized that there was no way to fit all of this information into one book. So the first volume was on the planning phase. The second volume is going to be on Magic Kingdom. The third volume will be on Epcot, so on and so forth. So we'll go through all the parks, we will go through the resorts, I'll go through Disney Springs, and then hopefully eventually move on to the cruise and Disneyland, and who knows, maybe overseas Disneyland. So we'll have to see where it goes, but I'm really excited. So next project is that volume 2. The reason this came about, my whole family is a bunch of Disney lovers. My mom has brought us about every year since we were little, and it's just kind of the happiest place on earth, the most magical place on earth. I don't know, I love it, and if you're watching this, you probably love Disney too. But I am also a personal trainer and nutrition coach, and last year I started to notice that a lot of clients that I had online, or a lot of people that I know in person, were coming back after being out of town for a week or so, and it was the same story every time. It was, oh, I totally fell off the bandwagon. I gained 10 pounds. I have to start my diet. I need to fix my nutrition. I totally ate everything in sight. It was awful. And it was, they were talking about Disney. Not everybody, but for the most part, spring break is a big time to go to Disney, right? And so people were coming home, and I said, I really need to be proactive about this instead of reactive. We shouldn't have to, take all that hard work that we put in for months and then start back at ground zero. We need to figure out a way so that you can enjoy your time there, but not be completely off track and off schedule and have to come back and then redo all that work that you've been working on for months and then just blow it in a week. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where the idea came from. I knew I had the expertise on Disney and dieting through Disney to know that it's possible. I also compete in bikini bodybuilding, and so I've been at Disney while I was dieting for a show. So I know it's possible to diet at Disney. They're really, really accommodating with food, and there's actually a lot of exercise activities available to do there. So I've dieted through my time at Disney while with family and by myself. I've also been there during maintenance phases. So I know it's possible. And through this book and through other people's testimonies, I know it's helped other people too. So that is how I got the idea, and that is how much I've accomplished so far. So three trips in 2018 is how I kind of planned that first volume. I also have a ton of knowledge from previous years of vacationing and from those trips to get started on the Magic Kingdom volume, but I have not eaten everywhere in Magic Kingdom, and restaurants change very frequently, so I do need to continue going back to keep updated on the latest restaurants, what they have to offer, what questions you can ask of the servers and chefs, and how they're going to accommodate you. And I know one of the biggest things is not knowing what you can ask, what modifications you can ask for, what restaurants are maybe the best places to go that don't tempt you with what you already know you don't want to have. So those kinds of things I have to go back for consistently to make sure that I'm updating my information best for you. So that's kind of the history and how I go about figuring out what goes in the book and what's most helpful. And the plan and the schedule, like I said, I would like to go back in May. I had wanted to go back earlier this year in like February, March, but I just didn't have the funding for it, and I had to relook at my budget. And so looking at the budget, it usually costs, depends, on what plan and things you're going for. And that's another part that I have to take into account is the budgeting to put in the book so that other people know. But it usually costs around maybe $3,500 to $4,000 when it comes to everything. If you're staying in a hotel that has the proper gym equipment, if you're doing the deluxe dining plan or the regular dining plan, it does cost more than not using a dining plan usually. If you're driving yourself versus flying yourself, and all the little details in between. So I have put together the budget on how much it's going to cost me to drive, how many nights I want to stay there. I want to stay for a week this go around, and I do want to use the deluxe Disney dining plan because I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to go to the max amount of restaurants each day possible so that I can have the most information for the book. I don't think I can physically eat that much food, but we're going to try. No, part of that is portion control. So I want to go to as many restaurants as possible in the shortest amount of time as possible so that I can get back home and then write the book. I don't live in Orlando. I live in Shreveport, Louisiana, right outside of Shreveport, Louisiana. So it's about a 2-day drive. Fortunately, I have a place I can stay about halfway on my way to Orlando during a road trip. So I don't need any lodging on the way there or back, which is nice. But that is where the budgeting comes from. That's the bulk of it. Really, the fun part is going, and it's a lot of work. It's funny, the last time I went, I even turned down free fast passes because I spent so much time focusing on the food. I didn't even have time. I didn't make time to do a lot of the rides because I was so focused on eating food and then writing about the food and taking down immediate notes so that I could then put it right into the book pages. So if you love Disney, and actually I'm going to read this out of the first book. These are all the reasons I feel, and of course there can be more, but there's so many reasons why you should consider reading this and using it. And this is why you should care. And if any of these situations describe you, I think you'll be the perfect person to incorporate these volumes and Healthy Disney guide plans into your vacation journey. So I've written, this guide is for the parent who loves to leave reality and experience the magic of Disney with their family and does not want to come home with the expectation of needing to start a diet. This guide is for the teacher who is chaperoning the senior class trip or the cheer squad to the next competition and wants to experience healthier Disney treats while also dealing with the chaos of teenagers. I have too many friends who are teachers who need this book. This guide is for the athlete who constantly pushes himself or herself with their fitness and nutrition goals and has a great hesitation over leaving their comfort zone of prepackaged meals and home gyms to go on a vacation with their friends and family. It's hard. It really is. This guide is for the traveler who is sick and tired of typical fast food options in theme parks and is a total foodie when it comes to travel. This guide is for the bodybuilder who is bringing a food scale to the parks and wants to know where they can have clean, healthy food options and track their macros easily to stay on track with their food goals. Yes, I have been there, done that. I have brought my meals into the parks. I have brought my food scale into the parks. Totally possible. Sometimes the security guards don't understand what a food scale is, but that's okay. they still let you in. This guide is for the business person attending a conference within the Disney parks who needs to keep a professional appearance and still show that they can enjoy and let loose with the magic of Disney. And then this guide is for the gym junkie who refuses to put his or her workout schedule on the back burner and will get in a workout no matter the daily plans. So that is the gist of the guide and who it is for. So if any of those scenarios seem like you, if you're a Disney lover, if you believe that Disney is going in a healthier direction and this could be helpful to you or anybody you know that loves Disney, then I hope that you consider helping me fund this project so that we can get more volumes out quicker for everyone who wants to go to Disney and come back still feeling guilt-free and really appreciating their magical vacation. Thanks so much for listening and watching, and I hope you enjoy the book.